inside the company, there is a process of internal restructuring that is underway. That was one of the reasons it is said you were brought into the company to reorganize operations, to reinvigorate the company. How successful do you feel you've been so far?
Yeah, when I came to the company, one of the questions was that, find a way to become more operationally excellent. So we combined a strategy of operational excellence and organic growth, and we have been growing in most of the regions, and we've become a lot more operationally excellent. So if you look at the global results of AkzoNobel that we published a couple of weeks ago, our operating profits actually went up with 42% in euros, and that's a very significant jump, a very significant improvement to levels that AkzoNobel hasn't seen for a very, very long time. So the strategy of operational excellence is working, and on top of that operational excellence, we're now starting to drive growth with a higher level of aggressiveness. And countries as India can play a big role.
But having built a more leaner organization now, are you seeing any operational efficiencies, or is it too early to comment on the new organization structure that's in place?
We see clear operational efficiencies. We see better deliveries to customers. We see smarter supply chain management. We see faster decision making in the organization. And the final results, the financial results, of course, show all of these improvements coming through. So it's not just that we're working better and more efficient. It's not just that we can respond quicker to customers, but it's even visible, very tangible in our financial results that we report on a quarterly basis. The last quarterly results were the 8th consecutive quarter that AkzoNobel had an improved return on sales compared to the same quarter a year before.
But now, having achieved whatever you have, what are the 3 top priorities on your mind for the company as on date?
Now that we've become so fit to actually, we've trained ourselves into a lean and fit organization, growth will be a very important driver for AkzoNobel. And those countries, of course, which grow themselves, we want to participate in that growth. But we certainly have the leanness and the fitness to drive growth as a very major aspect. And we can do that both geographically by introducing new innovations, because innovation is going to be a very important second pillar of the growth that we're going to be driving. And of course, one of the key issues is that the fitness that we've achieved, that we don't lose it, that we keep it, and that we maintain that strength that we've developed.
But what about consolidating your operations? One gets a sense that you do want to divest non-core and non-performing businesses. Globally, are there any parts of your business that you want to let go of? And what would be the new priorities of your company going forward?
Well, we've only done a number of divestitures of what we perceive to be non-strategically strong positions. We want to be in number 1, 2, or 3 positions worldwide in any of the businesses that we've in. So we've actually, in 2012, we did a significant divestiture.
PPG.
And that divestiture was the American decorative paints business. After that, we've actually done only very small ones. So we have today very, very strong positions in many of the countries that we're in. We have very strong brands, products that are fantastic in terms of their quality, and as a result we can build on this particular strength to deliver a leading performance in growth as well.
But what are the businesses that you're going to be focusing on?
The 3 business areas that we have, the specialty chemicals business area, the performance coatings business area, and the decorative paints business area. Those are the 3 businesses that we as a portfolio focus on. These are 3 legs of the portfolio. They all are approximately 4 to 5 billion inside. AkzoNobel is, of course, a $16 billion company in terms of its revenue. And it's these 3 pillars that we've made fit, and it's these 3 pillars that we want to continue to focus on. We've done a lot of factory consolidations. We've done a lot of kind of optimization of the processes. And we're getting to the end of the big transformations that makes the company so ready for growth in these 3 areas of the corporation.
Well, it is also being said that 75% of the world's population is now going to be living in cities by 2050. There is a Human Cities initiative that AkzoNobel has also initiated. And back home in India, we are talking about building 100 smart cities. How do you think that the 2 can actually be integrated, and what kind of role can companies like yours play in building infrastructure in India in the near future?
Urbanization is a fact everywhere in the world. So indeed, in 2050, when we have 9 billion people on this earth, people believe that 75% of the people live in cities, and that's a lot more than live in cities today. And as a result, what many of the mayors of the cities want to do is they want to make sure that they have the possibility for the people to actually live in large urbanized areas. And the focus of most of these people is, how can we get the power, how can we get the water, how can we get the infrastructure to the places? And what very often is forgotten is to say, how do we actually make these particular urbanization trends not just functional, but also enjoyable, livable, fun to be. And that's where AkzoNobel comes in. We, of course, bring a lot of color to people's lives. We bring enjoyment. We bring kind of a better feeling. We protect heritage when we really, together with the populations, try to make sure that the things that are old and aged and people have a very strong emotional value to, that they can actually be uplifted to something that's fun to be around and in with. So we as AkzoNobel actually contribute to a lot that makes a city more human, more enjoyable, more livable, more exciting, as opposed to just functional. And that's where the smart cities of India are actually something that matches really well with what we do on the human cities front. We're also subscribed to what people call the 100 resilient cities. The Rockefeller Foundation has put that initiative in many places in the world. So we've also teamed up with them. We don't do it alone. We do it with many people that are actually trying to make cities a more fun place to be. And that's, of course, where AkzoNobel can do a lot, not only in India, but also in other places in the world.
Well, my last question, Ton, for you is that we have a change in guard at the center in India. There is a new government in place and it is almost completed a year. As a foreign investor, do you see any change in perception at a global level when one talks about India? And as an investor in India, do you think things have changed on the ground?
What I see very clearly is that the mood inside India has changed, and also the mood about India from the outside has changed. So we see much more positive thoughts in general. When you read the newspapers, whether it's in Europe or the United States, you see a much more positive impression of the way India is expected to develop. And we see it as well when we travel in the country. I've been here now for several days. I've spoken with customers in all of our businesses. I've spoken with officials. I've spoken, of course, with our employees. The feeling is very different from 2 or 3 years ago. I do believe that the change will be gradual, so it will not be a very quick change. But I think India, as it is right now, has all potential to be poised for future growth that is faster than it has been in the last years. And AkzoNobel is well positioned to also benefit and, of course, combine benefit with it together with India itself.
Wonderful, Ton. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for your time and wish you all the best for your endeavors in India.
Thank you very much.
We were in conversation with Ton Buchner, the CEO of AkzoNobel.